Good morning. Today is Friday the 6th, November 2020. I'm making this video here from Saalfeld, Germany. I want to give you my opinion on the current elections in America. You might have only focused on your American issues and thereby forgotten the underlying, much more important situation with the still not finished warlike situation, post-war situation. We here in Germany, we are actually still under SHAEF, Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force Command, due to General Eisenhower's occupation laws and due to Adolf Hitler's illegal taking over of Germany with the help of some high royal families like the von Hindenburgs and the Hohenzollern-Prussians themselves. So this conflict, from my opinion, has not ended yet, and I have had to feel this conflict throughout my whole life, because all these royals who had been involved in actually both world wars are still in power, and they are working hand in hand with your highly criminal Republican Zionist people. Actually, when I got born in 1979, I had to feel firsthand George Bush I, who was hand in hand with all the high society and all the rich and famous, and he actually already stole the power. You have to remember that George Bush I was the one who helped to execute and kill President John F. Kennedy. All these secret dossiers, the secret papers, that he was the one who was pulling the strings within the CIA as a secret agent at that time in, I think, where was it, somewhere in Mexico, New Mexico, where George Bush, in Texas, where John F. Kennedy got shot. That goes back to George Bush I. And that's why George Bush I actually later on became a high person in the CIA and later became your president, because all he did throughout all his life was to help remove all the proofs that he was involved in that. And because of that, of course, George Bush II had to become one of your next Republican presidents, because these Republicans are all protecting the murdering heritage that they have. They have been murdering and stealing your American dream. They have been murdering and suppressing and stealing our German dream. And hopefully, therefore, no Republican president will ever become a successor in America. And Donald Trump, what is he doing? He's protecting and suppressing the crimes of George Bush I and II. He's protecting and denying the crimes of Obama. He is protecting and suppressing the investigations in 9/11. And why has he chosen Rudy Giuliani as his lawyer? Well, because Rudy Giuliani was the mayor at that time who had approved the controlled demolition of the Twin Towers. And they needed a reason to attack Iraq. So they had to invent the story with the airplanes. They used holograms. And of course, they blamed it then on the Muslim terrorists. Possibly the Saudis were involved, as there is some good books and information around. But the Saudis and Osama bin Laden certainly did not sit in the airplanes, because there were no airplanes, and it was all a staged attack. If there had been two big airplanes crashing in the Twin Towers, we would have found evidence like parts of the big wings, like the wings of a Boeing 737. They are 20, 30, 40 meters wide and on each side, and you would have found the turbines, which are 3-4 times the size of a human body, and nothing got found. So no matter whether there were really airplanes or something else, there were big detonation, and the temperatures went up to to 100,000 degrees, and that was only possible because the Twin Towers got demolished through a controlled demolition by detonating the tiny nuke in the underground of the buildings. That tiny nukes, these got installed by the architects when the Twin Towers got built, and the Twin Towers actually belonged to the Rockefeller family. The Twin Towers each had the name of John and I think David Rockefeller, and since the Rockefellers are part of this criminal high society network, nobody can ever attack them. Keep in mind that the Rockefellers, John D. Rockefeller, by 1901, the New York Times, I think, wrote that John D. Rockefeller was the first trillionaire on earth. And Rockefeller got the money from the European Rothschilds, who already had taken over the European countries by financing Napoleon, and then by taking over the British throne and the British Bank of England. And this is why Queen Elizabeth has been a Rothschild Rockefeller agent ever since. That's why she has to ask whether she is allowed to go into the city of London. And that's why there is no more real justice in the UK. It's all a fake corporate system with fake royalty. And but no matter whether this royalty, like Queen Elizabeth II or whoever, are fake or not, they all work for the Vatican and for the banks. Let's say they would be a fake royalty, but they would do something good, then we could have a closer look whether we could find a solution. But they all somehow subvert, undermine the basic laws, the human rights of the people. They play high society, they work for themselves, and worst of all, and this applies to all these fake presidents in America and to the Angela Merkel dictatorship here and the Helmut Kohl dictatorship 20 years ago, they all work against faithful people. They suppress us, they use the authorities to work against people like me. I have actually tried to strengthen my faith, to work and to focus on that, but it's not possible. In this world, it's not possible. If I go out, there's every day more and more cars. The capitalism is increasing on an enormous scale. Nobody cares about human rights, and nobody cares about animal rights. Nobody cares about nature. Capitalism, Western style, has been exported to the whole world, and it's been exported by the royalty, the European royalty. They are the biggest capitalists on earth. They are not caring a dime for the legal situation. They just want to have money. They want to have a good life. They don't care about me. They don't care about nobody. They don't care about the occupation status that I have started with in this video. And of course, Donald Trump, one of the biggest criminals and capitalists in America, doesn't care a shit about the legal situation here. Neither. He doesn't care about the legal situation in America. He's an elbow man. He has learned to survive in New York with elbows, with money and killing and get in corruption, and that's his world. And this guy, that's the guy you have on your president seat, and we can take him by the word if you want. People tell me, oh, Donald Trump has produced peace. He's not doing this. He's not invading other countries. No, he has. He has been supporting Macron killing and pushing down the revolution and the liberty movement in Mali. He has been suppressing and pushing down the liberty movement in Syria. Donald Trump has been doing everything possible to kill one Muslim after another around the world. And I have to tell you that Christianity is not the religion of God, Allah. Christianity is something that got put together by all the Freemasons and the wannabe people throughout the last 2000 years. And people don't value any Christian things. If I go to America and if I go to the churches, the people meet and they sing and they go out and they compete and fight against each other outside the church. There is no Christian denomination or Christian denominator, something that all belong and fit together and that all want to have. That doesn't exist in America. It's pure capitalism. And the only religion and the only people who are really trying to be like brothers and sisters and who are not always focusing on capitalism and all these Western Christian fake ideas like big car, pretty woman, big house, big nice vacation. The only ones who are focusing on religion, these are the Muslims. And maybe there's also, I have to admit, there's the Sikhs and the Buddhists. They are also spiritual, and they have understood that it's not about this life and these material things. But particularly the Muslims have been showing us this every day, and the Western world has so much dishonored them, has always taken the cheap stuff from them, has always gone to their holiday destinations like Morocco, Libya, Tunisia, Turkey, to all the Saharan and African places. You have always gone there, you have always went there as in form of a luxury trip. You always profited, you always taken from the people. You have taken their friendship and the way they treat you as guests. You have taken it for granted. You have taken all the Christian achievements for granted in this world, but you have never given back. The capitalists and Donald Trump never ever given back a cent. And he's telling he's working, he's the first president working without getting paid. Well, he has been taking everything for granted in this Christianized world that the holy people actually built and paid for with their lives. Donald Trump has taken everything for granted. Donald Trump gets up in the morning and wears his suit at $1,000 tie, $1,000 shoes, never given anything back to the people, never lived with the homeless people on the streets, and all he's trying to do is lower the taxes and raise the living standards for all, that we all become capitalists like him. But we're not dealing with him. We're not speaking about the law. We're not speaking about the crimes, about his crimes. He's always putting the thumbs on the others. Hillary Clinton, how bad she is. Yes, she's bad. Joe Biden, how bad he is. Hunter Biden, how bad he is. How many millions he made in Ukraine. Or how many millions he stole in Ukraine. Yes, okay. But he never shows on his own how many millions he stole in New York. How many people his Zionist friends killed at 9/11. How many people he killed when he threw the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan 4 years ago. How many Muslims he's always neglecting and rejecting every day when he gets into his limousine and passes by and doesn't care a shit about them. He doesn't care a shit about all his neighbors. Yes, maybe he's supporting a few homeless people in the Trump Tower. Yes, he can do that with all his billions of dollars. He can let a few hundred people live in the Trump Tower and get them away from the road. But speaking about the billionaires, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, they have been, I think, donating every year half of their billion-dollar income to the homeless and to the welfare every day. So compared to that, Donald Trump is really nothing. And so have I. I'm just a tiny millionaire. But I have also been giving away a little bit of my fortune. So I want to go back to the law, and this seems to be impossible with Donald Trump. That's why Donald Trump actually invaded Guantanamo Bay 1 or 2 months ago, because he wanted to get rid of the military which was still working based on SHAFE, based on the post-war situation. And with the Q movement, that's another aspect. The Q movement has been used. Who's Q? Q could be anything. Q could be an alien from Mars The Q movement is an anonymous military mission, and all who are against Q, they are bad. All who are against Trump, they are anti-Trumpers. And it's like a secret coalition. It's a secret group within the military with Trump, and they all work together, and they say, oh, we will liberate the world, we will get away of the deep state. But who is the deep state? The deep state, from their perspective, of course, these are all the others who might be potential opponents in the future. We are the deep state. It's not Nancy Pelosi or the Hillary Clinton or the Democrats. They are not the deep state. The deep state is the big unknown mass who might be the potential opponent for the Zionists and for their coup that they have been running here on earth since 40-50 years, that they kill one nation and attack one nation after another, that they have taken over America, that they have taken over Germany, that they have taken Europe, that they have stopped and hijacked SHAFE and the post-war situation, that they have fully undermined the United Nations, fully undermined the World Bank, fully undermined and taken over the Bretton Woods and all these other institutions, the IMF, that they're working hand in hand with the capitalists like Angela Merkel and Putin. And of course, no, we didn't do anything with Putin. No. Of course, there's no direct visible relationship, because Putin has stolen his power, has taken all the Soviet companies like Yukos. He's also a billionaire. Why does he have to work and have to do anything with Donald Trump? Oh, we have never ever had anything to do. And the same with the Saudis. How much Donald Trump loves the Saudis. They are also billionaires. And he wouldn't have to visit them because they are billionaires, he's a billionaire, and all is fine. Well, the fact is we don't have a peace treaty. Why did the UN actually get implemented? The UN got implemented so that the world will work together towards peace and towards law. We put ourselves we had the obligation, and we set the obligation that we want to work for a better world, for a legally correct world. We wanted to go back to the nation state, and nothing has happened. And when I mention this at American or English or Australian universities, oh, nobody wants to talk to me. All these professors, a German telling this to us. Well, okay, but the world wars, didn't we have a bad history and world wars, and didn't we want to somehow work on that and find a solution? Don't you remember that you, the Allies, you helped Dr. Wolfgang Ebel, who managed to solve the East and West conflict here in Germany? You helped him to become plenipotentiary and Reichschancellor in 1985 and 1987. And you signed contracts that he, under his leadership, under Dr. Wolfgang Ebel's leadership, we are allowed to rebuild the Weimar Republic, meaning the Second German Reich, before the taking over of Adolf Hitler. Because this is the last final legal state where everything was constitutional. That ended in February 1933. But until 30th of January 1933, we still were in a constitutional situation within the Weimar Republic, and thereafter everything got hijacked. And so Dr. Ebel got implemented based on that, because he was a Reichsbahner from the German Reichsbahn, which still belonged to the Weimar Republic, and we wanted to restore the German Republic, the German Reich in the form of the German Republic, which is the Weimar Republic. It's the last legal status which was somehow acceptable based on the 1919 constitution, which you had demanded after World War I, that the banks had created. The banks had created World War I. They had financed the revolutions. They had financed the communists, the Rothschilds behind the banks, of course. And so you demanded during and after World War I that Germany needs to go back to a constitution. And since there was a big confusion and nobody wanted to go back to the 1871 constitution, you demanded that we have to have to work out a new constitution, and you gave Germany 10 days. So the Germans and some parliamentary people and constitutional assembly worked out this 1919 constitution, presented it to you, and you said, based on this, we're willing to make a peace treaty. And based on that, World War I came to an end. And so we are still having this 1919 constitution. And Dr. Ebel and the people who worked and who opened our borders and who achieved the peace between East and West, these were the Reichsbahners, who had still been working for the Reichsbahn after 1945 until the 1990s. And they had to feel this conflict between East and West. And they managed to work out the legal situation, and they managed to lead us into this peace and peaceful, open situation in Germany. Not Dr. Helmut Kohl, who was a khazaric Zionist agent. So why don't you not realize what the Republicans have been doing? The Republicans were the first to attack John F. Kennedy, and were the first to say, oh, we have to use General Eisenhower's laws to restore the legal situation in the world. But then what did they do? They just did the opposite. When they got in power, they said, oh, why don't we need to do that? We are in power. Who can do anything against us? Who can do anything against the law when we are in power? They put themselves in the king's throne, even though we had agreed that we stop with these kings and all this royal stuff, that we want to build nation states, that we want to go back to the law. Last but not least, let me give you some proofs and sources. There is this wonderful journalist, I think he's an American journalist, Greg Palast. He has been producing many videos. He has talked in shows. He has talked on the radio and TV and in the news that Donald Trump has already stolen the first election. He got $16 million from Linda Rothschild 5 or 6 years ago, because he was bankrupt with his Trump corporate network. He's always saying, oh, I'm Trump, I'm a great achiever, I've made millions and billions from the fortune that I got from my father. But actually he has run it 10 or 15 times against the wall. He has been bankrupt after bankruptcy because he's not a person of the people. And you cannot just make money from nothing through others, like through slaves or idiots who are working for you. That doesn't work over the long term. That's why his budget and everything always goes down, and he ends in bankruptcy. And he uses the bankruptcy to get a new start. So this Greg Palast, this journalist, has been producing excellent videos. He has highlighted that Trump stole the elections last time, and he's probably stealing it this time again. He wouldn't have been probably able to even pay for his election campaign if the Rothschilds would not have financed him. Trump has promised that he would investigate all the evil things that has been happening. He has said there will be an investigation in all this not child pornography, but with Epstein and Pizzagate and all of that. Nothing happened. He said that he has rescued thousands of children from underground bunkers, the vampires and those who eat these children. He has rescued them from them. But where are these children? He's right on this corona lie. But he's always saying this and this tomorrow, and there's no proof and there's no substance behind him. Because he's a liar and a stealer, and there is no substance behind him. And there's another great journalist and author, Christopher Bolin. He has written several books on 9/11, and he has shown how the Zionists are all working together. Like AIPAC, Donald Trump, he is a great fan of this AIPAC Jewish Summit. It's like in Germany, you're not allowed to say anything against all these Jews. As soon as you say something, oh, you're anti-Semite. You hate the Muslims, you hate the Semites. Well, that's the way they are. You're not allowed to say anything. If you say something, you're not my friend anymore. You are a Zionist, you are an anti-Trumper. Where have we come? The Zionists are not the boss in this world. They are the criminal gang that needs to go to jail immediately. And that's why Donald Trump took over Guantanamo Bay, because he knew that one day might occur that he himself will have to go to Guantanamo Bay to speak in front of the military judges. They are asking him, "What have you done, my friend? Why didn't you follow the law?" That's exactly why Donald Trump went into Guantanamo Bay with his new FBI group to take over. Donald Trump is using every possible mean. The game is not just about America and constitution and presidency. No, he's a gangster. He will use every man and every possible gang to fight through his goal. And you all don't understand it, because you also want to make money. So you love him. That's why I tell you, it's not about, we cannot use the money. We cannot go after the money. We cannot focus on the money. We have to focus on the law. And Donald Trump is not restoring the law. He's not working through the law, not doing anything with the law to help fight corruption, to help fight for a better constitutional America, for a better constitutional world. That's what he's not doing. Please really do your very serious research on that. And don't have your chips next to you and do it part-time. No, it's about everything. Better you don't eat anything in the morning, don't have anything, and focus really on the situation, on the law, and who has been doing anything. Okay, Obama didn't do anything neither, and the Clintons didn't do anything neither, and the Bushes certainly not. But who did something? Like John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy signed the Hilton Memorial Agreement. John F. Kennedy signed an agreement, I think, in the early 50s, that all the gold got transported to the Philippines, so that there will be new currencies and independent currencies for each and every country in the whole world, gold-backed. John F. Kennedy signed the Bretton Woods agreements and conference, and he tried to do something based on the post-war situation. He worked with the military, but also the military attacked him. But he tried to do something to make the whole thing go in the right direction, based on legal facts and legal grounds. And Trump has not been doing anything in that regard. So I warn you, the Zionists are murderers, liars, stealers. They have killed millions of people in Palestine to legitimize their this fake corporate Israel. Nobody likes this Israel. Nobody. We Germans, we all don't like these Jews. We accept the Orthodox Jews, particularly the believers like me. We believe in God, in Allah, but we don't like any corporate stuff. We want to have a peaceful world. We don't like money, business, economy, all this stuff all the time. That's all delusion and taking away our attention from what we are meant to focus on. Okay, please think about it. God bless you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Bye-bye.